Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to pry open the toolbox and uncover some of the coolest secrets in woodworking. We're talking about how simple pieces of wood get connected to create furniture that's not just nice to look at, but is actually built to last for like generations. So let's jump right in.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll get into the magic of what joints are and why they matter so much. Then we'll dive into the three big families: widening, framing, and carcass joints. And to wrap it all up, we'll look at how knowing all this stuff is the real key to making something high quality.
I mean, really think about it. It's not just some glue and a few screws, right? The real strength, the secret sauce, is all in the woodworking joints. They are the unsung heroes of, well, everything, from your dining table to the chair you're probably sitting in right now.
Okay, first up, let's talk about the magic of the joints themselves. We're going to start with a simple definition, because this one concept, well, it's the foundation for literally everything else in great woodworking.
At its heart, it's really that simple. A woodworking joint is just the spot where two pieces of wood meet. But, and this is a big but, the way they connect is where all the art and the engineering genius really comes to life.
So why do woodworkers get so obsessed with getting their joints perfect? Well, it's because a good joint is what makes furniture strong enough to handle daily life, stable enough that it doesn't wobble, and tough enough to be passed down. It's that simple.
All right, let's meet our first family of joints, widening joints. Let's say you want to make a big, wide tabletop, but all you have are narrower boards. This is your go-to toolkit. Let's see how they work. First up, we've got the most basic of them all, the butt joint. You literally just butt two edges up against each other. It's super quick, super easy, and it's perfect for simple things where you don't need a massive amount of strength. Now, what if you need that simple connection to have a little more muscle? Well, you can level up to a dowel butt joint. By drilling some holes and adding small wooden pins, we call those dowels, you add some real mechanical strength, and it keeps the boards perfectly lined up. A simple trick, but really effective. You're gonna love this next one. Think of it like wooden Legos. One board has a little ridge sticking out, that's the tongue, and the other has a slot for it to fit in, that's the groove. They click together perfectly. It creates this super tight interlocked surface that's amazing for things like flooring. With a rebated joint, you basically carve a little step, or ledge, into the edge of one board. This gives the other board a perfect place to sit. That means way more surface area for glue and a much stronger physical connection. It's awesome for fitting the back panels onto cabinets. All right, so a quick recap of our widening joints. You've got the super quick butt joint, you can add strength with dowels, get a tight fit with tongue and groove, or make a stronger connection with a rebated joint. Each one solves a slightly different problem. Okay, on to framing joints. Now, if widening joints create the skin of a project, framing joints create the skeleton. These are the joints that form the strong, rigid backbones of things like tables, chairs, and door frames. I guarantee you've seen this joint a million times. Just look at any picture frame in your house. The miter joint is where two pieces are cut at an angle, usually 45 degrees, and they meet to form a really clean, seamless corner. It's all about that neat, decorative look. The halving joint is pretty clever. You actually remove half of the wood from each piece right where they cross over. So when you put them together, they slot into each other and become this one perfectly flat and surprisingly strong unit. We've seen dowels before as a helper, but here they're the main event. For a framing joint, dowels can be the primary connector, giving you serious strength and, just as importantly, guaranteeing perfect alignment when you're building a structure. And now for the undisputed king of framing joints, the mortise and tenon. This thing is a timeless classic. It works just like a locking key. The tenon, which is a little tongue of wood, fits perfectly into the mortise, which is a hole. The result is an incredibly strong joint that physically locks the pieces together. It's a true sign of quality craftsmanship. So for building skeletons, you've got options, from the pretty miter joints all the way up to the beastly mortise and tenon. Each one is designed to give you a solid, dependable frame for your furniture. All right, on to our third and final family, carcase joints. I know carcass sounds a little weird, but it's just the classic woodworker's term for the box-like body of a cabinet, a bookshelf, or a dresser. These joints are all about building those boxes. The dovetail joint is probably the most famous and beautiful joint of them all. You've probably seen it. Those interlocking pins and tails create this incredibly powerful mechanical lock that just refuses to be pulled apart. That's why you see it on the corners of high-end drawers. It's strong, and frankly, it's a bit of a show-off.
Think about a really solid bookshelf. How are those shelves held in place? A lot of the time, it's with a housing joint. A groove gets cut all the way across one of the sideboards, and the shelf just slides right into it. This gives amazing support for the weight of all your books.
The T-joint? Well, it does exactly what it sounds like. It's used when you need to join one board into the middle of another, forming a T-shape. This is absolutely fundamental for putting in dividers and other structures inside a cabinet or a set of shelves. So, to wrap up our box building joints, you've got the super durable dovetail for corners, the housing joint for supporting shelves, and the simple T-joint for making dividers. Each one is a key part of building strong, functional cabinets and boxes. Okay, so how do we actually put all this knowledge to use? Well, it all starts with the design. You have to pick the right joint for the job. But just having the idea is only half of it. Real quality comes from the execution, making sure your surfaces are smooth, your joints are tight, and your measurements are dead on. That's what makes a piece that's not just safe and good-looking, but built to last.
So there you have it. We've unlocked some of the core secrets that hold our entire wooden world together. From the simple butt joint to the elegant dovetail, every single one has a job to do. I bet the next time you look at a piece of furniture, you're going to see it in a whole new light. You'll see the craftsmanship. So really, the only question left is, what are you going to build?